Thank you, Mr. Ford. For our first story on what a community did about a dangerous local highway situation, we take you to fast-growing California, where highway problems have multiplied with the increase of population and of travel. This is San Francisco. See how it is located on the northernmost tip of a peninsula. Its only access from the north is the Golden Gate Bridge. From the east, the Bay Bridge. Now you are looking south from downtown San Francisco. Below you is Bayshore Highway, the traffic artery of the peninsula. City after city for 30 miles, flowing into each other in a continuous line out of San Francisco. Let's go back to June 1951, to the California Highway Police Station at Jefferson Avenue and Bayshore Highway.
Okay, I've got it. Redwood number 4, Redwood number 4, and 1179 at Bayshore and Harbor Boulevard, and 1179 at Bayshore and Harbor Boulevard.
And 1179 is the police code for collisions involving fatalities. As accidents piled up, Bayshore got a new name. Bloody Bayshore, they called it. 2 lanes for that peak rush hour traffic. 50,000 drivers, all trying to get out of San Francisco at the same time. And after the nerve-wracking delay, when you get past the real jams, what's a man to do but open up? Make up for lost time. Beat the speed limit. Just a little.
Palo Alto number 3. Palo Alto number 3 and 1179 on Bayshore and Embarcadero. Palo Alto number 3. Palo Alto number 3 and
1179. Somebody's number. Some people besides the police kept a record of those 1179s, like the managing editor of the Palo Alto Times, Gene Paulson.
You know, we've been trying to do the job a newspaper should do to keep the community alert. We've written editorials, we've headlined the accidents, we've published photographs. Here, take a look at some of these. These were run over about a 60-day period. Here's an editorial by editor Eleanor Cogswell, who's been writing them every couple of weeks. Read these Bayshore statistics and shudder.
Father and son killed in Bayshore crash. 3 others injured. Every time you're out with the children and are half an hour late, I start thinking of ambulances and accidents. Somebody's just got to do something.
The couple
about
talked it over, decided to do something about it. And Dr. Rochelle, a university professor, wrote an open letter to the governor, sent it to the paper.
Dear Mr. Governor, we have been rudely impressed by the traffic conditions on Bayshore Highway. Our acquaintances freely refer to it as Suicide Lane and Murder Row.
That open letter to the governor was what Paulson had been looking for. He reprinted it the next day on the front page of the Palo Alto Times.
There appears to be no indignation about a condition which endangers the lives of all of us. Having just returned from a trip to both Chicago and New York, I have thought to compare the driving in those communities with ours. Nowhere did I see such reckless driving as one can see on Bayshore. Governor, I do not know what I shall do when my children, now too young to drive, will venture forth upon the California highways.
People got the idea. The ball got rolling. 3 hours after the paper hit the stands, the Times switchboard was swamped with calls. Hundreds of letters poured in. The Palo Alto Chamber of Commerce called an emergency meeting. Editor Cogswell kept punching away with the editorials. The Times was keeping the pot boiling. Almost overnight, Highway Commissioner Peterson had 5 additional patrol cars out on Bayshore. And for each patrolman put on, there was 1 death less a month. Reduced speed limits were posted at hazardous points. Traffic lights were installed at dangerous intersections. Minor access roads were closed. No left turn signs were placed at intersections with records of left turn accidents. and the headlines continued without let-up.
In 60 days, deaths and injuries had dropped from 67 to 38, and accidents from 110 to 65. The campaign kept gathering momentum, and the Palo Alto Chamber of Commerce started a drive to sign petitions for extending the Bayshore Freeway.
The people got the idea that in addition to better traffic control, they needed to solve the basic problem, a badly overloaded highway. Radio and TV stations in San Francisco itself took up the campaign. Petitions were circulated. At the hospital, Times reporter Francis Moffat, on the left there, tried to get the signatures of 4 people injured in an auto crash. The entire hospital staff signed up. A petition to extend the 6-lane freeway. Sign here, please. And they did. 30,000 of them. In the big towns and the small ones. In Sunnyvale, San Carlos, Mountain View, Los Altos, Belmont, all signed and sealed and ready to be delivered. 2 weeks later, a delegation of citizens presented the petitions to Governor Warren. This public support was what the state officials needed. Within 30 days, the legislature acted. Here it is, the new Bayshore Freeway, a highway of modern design, 6 lanes instead of 4. One stretch of the American road made safer because the community took constructive action. What you have just seen was accomplished in 1952, but the job was not finished. It still goes on. As a matter of fact, what happened here in Palo Alto stimulated many California communities to similar efforts. And today, California has a state highway program that is one of the most advanced in the nation. Elsewhere, there are highway problems of another kind that have to be solved, like traffic congestion, for example. Ever been downtown in that 6 o'clock bumper-to-bumper madness called a traffic jam? It's worse in our older cities. And so, for our report on how one big city is successfully solving it, let's go east, across the country.